Have you heard about ghosting? Not the Halloween kind. The people in your life who seem to disappear without a trace and without explanation, leaving you wondering what happened and where'd they go? That's the title of a new book about the ghosting culture in our society. It was written by best-selling author Andi Lew, who joins us now. So good to have you here in person, Andi.
Oh, thank you, Maggie. Yeah, I had my 8th book with you, and now this is my 9th book, all about ghosting culture.
Congratulations. Let's start with the basics. What is ghosting?
Look, it's really when somebody just disappears, vanishes into thin air. Where do they go? Literally, did they die? You'll never know. And it really is bringing light to a very sort of serious mental health subject where somebody just never replies to your texts, emails, phone calls. It happens in personal relationships, but also in business and friendships too.
And it happens to everyone. As you pointed out to me when before the interview,
Yes.
You just opened up your book to a random page and it landed on a study that shows that a lot of people have not only had this happen to them, but done it themselves, right?
That's right. So in 2018, 1,300 people took part in this study by the Journal of Science and Social Personal Relationships. So basically they found that a quarter of the participants had actually been ghosted, a fifth had ghosted themselves. Ghosted themselves. They did the act of ghosting.
Exactly.
But in friendships it was even higher. It was a third of people in friendships are just like never returning, Caspering, you know.
Wow. Okay, so it begs the question, well, a couple of questions. Number one, when that happens to you, you feel like, what have I done? What's wrong with me? And you take it as a personal offense.
Absolutely, Maggie. So this is a really pressing thing on people's mental health because it makes them feel like their self-esteem is lower, they haven't got the closure that they need, and therefore they're just not dealing with disappearance well. And this is why we need to bring light to it. A lot of people say that it's gaslighting behaviour. We talk about breadcrumbing, where it's kind of like the fizzle ghost, or is it the full ghost? So when you're fizzling out or you've got the demi-ghost going on, are you picking up on the yellow and orange flags? Perhaps they're actually trying to give you the signs that they don't want the interaction anymore, but you're not picking up on that. Or maybe we're looking at society to blame now. In society, we have this, how you do anything is how you do everything. In our online culture, we're blocking, we're unfriending, we're deleting, we're swiping, we're moving on. And that psychology is accidentally, conditionally programming us to behave like that in our real world relationships too.
That's messed up. That is not a good way to treat people. I think people deserve an explanation, right?
Right. So, you know, I teach you how to have a sweaty palmed conversation because not everybody's well equipped to do that. And also, it's just really important to be patient within ourselves too. Because we are programmed with how we behave online, we actually want it to be really quick. We want it all yesterday.
Yeah.
But if we breathe and allow that interaction or relationship in business, friendship or personal life to just sort of unfold, perhaps the person really is busy and you are being impatient. Or perhaps they really will ghost you. You'll need to solve it within yourself, so deal with disappearance. I've got 50 ways to deal with disappearance by just bringing it back to self and understanding that it's everything about them and not about you. And if they do return, then it's up to you to decide if you want to actually continue having that interaction with the person on your terms.
Most of the time, and probably every time in my life when someone has disappeared, I have found it to be a gift. Maybe it didn't seem that way at the moment, but later on you're like, I did not need that person in my life. If someone doesn't want you in theirs, should we change our mindset, how we look at it?
Exactly. So it's all about perception and what you can do, you know, to actually say, did I dodge that bullet? So, I mean, a lot of the time though, men and women are allowing that person to come back into their life. I call that resurfacing. So when they start to resurface, submarining, they submarine you, then all of a sudden you actually might be so hungry for that relationship and the lessons that it teaches you, but you have to be really careful. I always talk about being protected, being prepared, because there are times where it's healthy to ghost someone, and that's where you're being disrespected or you actually feel unsafe. So it's important to know that within this study that we were talking about, you know, a third of those people have actually ghosted, and that could be okay too. It's important to know when it's okay and when it's not okay behaviour.
When a relationship is gone for good, do you think that it's important to get closure, and how do you do that?
You know what, there's a chapter in my book called What Closure? Because you actually might never get it. So bringing yourself that closure is so important, and as a certified lifestyle and wellness coach, I really do have 50 ways to help you do that. Or you might want to, and this is only your ego that might do it, want to just text them back. It's important to text.
Ooh.
And yeah, exactly.
What do you say?
A lot of people do it, and I say don't do it, but if your ego needs to do it with comedy. So, you
like
know,
what? Give me an example.
thanks for my 30 back money day guarantee. I thought Casper was supposed to be friendly, or this is boo sheet and a little ghost emoji, to let them know that you're calling out that bad behavior, and perhaps they'll write back and give you an explanation. Maybe you'll get the closure, maybe you won't.
All right, Andi Lew, thank you. Pleasure having you here.
My pleasure. It's on Amazon and everywhere.
And it's called, once again, Where'd They Go? Available now. Daytime will be right back.